So Duco Events, the promoters of WBO heavyweight world champion Joseph Parker, have won the purse bid to stage the fight between Parker and his mandatory challenger Hughie Fury. So that fight will almost certainly take place in Parker's home country of New Zealand. The winning bid by Duco was $3,011,000, and Frank Warren, who represents Hughie Fury, his bid was $2,800,000. Now, I'm not sure if we're talking American dollars here or New Zealand dollars. I'm assuming it's American dollars, but I'm not 100% sure. Please drop some clarification in the comment section below if you do know for certain. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that it's American dollars. Now, the purse will be split 60-40 in Joseph Parker's favor, which is a very, very generous split for the for the mandatory challenger, 40%. That's not too far off 50-50. So Hughie Fury, again, if this is in American dollars, will be getting by far the biggest purse of his professional boxing career so far. 3 million into 2 would be 1.5, obviously. So you're talking about 40%, roughly. It's going to be what, $1 million at least for Hughie Fury, a bit more. It could be approaching £1 million. Now that seems to be a lot more than what Hughie Fury was being offered against Anthony Joshua. We don't know the exact figures, but Eddie Hearn did come out and say, I don't understand why Hughie Fury would turn down the Joshua fight and then go and fight Joseph Parker, because he'll be getting less against Parker than he was offered against Joshua. Well, again, I don't know the exact figures. The Furies might have thrown around some ballpark figures as to what they were offered against Joshua, but this appears to be more than he would have got paid against Joshua. So I think Eddie Hearn has got some explaining to do there. Maybe Coogan or somebody else could put that to Eddie Hearn the next time they interview him. That actually, Hughie Fury's getting more here than you were offering him against Joshua. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was being offered similar money or more money to fight Joshua. So yeah, the fight's going to take place in New Zealand. That obviously favors Joseph Parker, not only from the perspective of having the home crowd and having possibly an advantage when it comes to officiating. And that tends to be the case more often than not when you're talking about a fighter fighting somebody foreign on home soil. As well as that type of advantage, there's also the massive time difference between the UK, where Hughie Fury is from, and New Zealand. I mean, it's something like 12 hours. So Hughie Fury will have to, I don't know if he's going to go out to New Zealand to train, or he's going to try and adjust his training schedule while he's in the UK, because again, it's a massive time difference. It's not like it's just a couple hours. It's a massive time difference of 12 hours. So 12 midday in New Zealand, maybe like 12 midnight in the UK. It's just a totally upside down type of situation. Now, some fighters deal with jet lag and all those kind of things much easier than others do. Other fighters find it a real drag and find it really difficult to adjust. Sometimes you think you're okay. You think you've adjusted to the jet lag, but then in the late rounds of a fight, it really catches up with you and your body's telling you, actually, no, I'm used to being asleep at this time. So we'll have to see how Hughie Fury, copes with that situation. But yeah, it's definitely an advantage for Joseph Parker to have it in front of his home fans. Hughie Fury is a technical type of fighter. He's not really a guy who gets in there and brawls. He's not really a guy who puts a lot of pressure on you. He's a guy who likes to use his jab, likes to use movement quite a lot. So it will be a different kind of fight than Joseph Parker's been having of late, because he fought Andy Ruiz and Carlos Takam in his past 2 fights. Well, actually, he fought Dimitrenko as well as that. Dimitrenko didn't really put up much resistance, so we'll just concentrate on the Ruiz and Takam fights. Both of those guys tried to pressure Joseph Parker, and he had to box on the back foot, and he had the advantage of being taller than both of those guys. Whereas against Hughie Fury, he's actually the shorter man. And I know he was shorter against Dimitrenko but Dimitrenko didn't really come to fight, and Dimitrenko was never really had great skills anyway. So Hughie Fury will undoubtedly be, in terms of boxers, the most skilled boxer. When I say boxers, I'm talking about stylistically, he's a boxer. Hughie Fury will be undoubtedly the most skilled boxer that he's fought. Andy Ruiz is a skilled pressure fighter. But in terms of, back foot boxing, middle of the ring, popping a jab, that's not really what Andy Ruiz does. So it's going to be interesting to see how Joseph Parker copes with Hughie Fury's style. It's going to be interesting to see how Hughie Fury copes with Joseph Parker's talent, because he's very fast. He's got some decent wins on his resume against Ruiz and Takam. He's got decent punching power. And he's been very active. I think more active than Hughie Fury's been. So I think this is an interesting matchup. It's a matchup I like. It's two unbeaten fighters. What is there to dislike about this? This will be the second fighter in a row that Joseph Parker has fought that's unbeaten. And if he is to defeat Hughie Fury, an argument could be made that Joseph Parker is actually the most proven heavyweight champion out there at the moment. If... actually, no. Let me take that back. An argument could be made, because this fight is obviously going to happen after. I'm assuming it's going to happen after. This fight is going to happen on April 1st. Look at me revising what I'm saying during the actual video. The fight is going to take place on April 1st in Auckland, New Zealand. So it will be before Joshua's fight against Klitschko. So yes, an argument could be made that Parker, at least for a short time, potentially, will be the most proven heavyweight champion in the division at the moment. We have to find out whether Anthony Joshua can defeat Vladimir Klitschko, and then he may be able to leapfrog Joseph Parker in terms of credibility, in terms of having the most credible win. But certainly, if he gets past Hughie Fury, Joseph Parker, he would have beaten Carlos Takam, Andy Ruiz, and Hughie. Those are good wins as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, sorry that's a bit convoluted here, people, but let me know what you think about this fight. Let me know what you think about the different factors I've talked about, like the location of the fight, the time difference between the UK and New Zealand, the style matchup. What are you expecting from this fight? Are you expecting a distance fight? Are you expecting somebody to get knocked out? Who is going to cope better with the other person's style? Hughie Fury has had excellent sparring, obviously. He's Tyson Fury's cousin. But Tyson Fury is not Joseph Parker. Tyson Fury, for one, certainly is nowhere near as quick-handed as Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker has got the quickest hands of any fighter who's 6'4" and above in the heavyweight division. Very, very quick-handed. Will he be able to use those quick hands against Hughie Fury? Will Hughie Fury offset everything Joseph Parker is doing with his very good jab and his movement and his extra height and reach? It's fascinating. So yeah, let's get into it in the comment section, people. I'd love to hear what you guys think of this one. Who's going to win? How's it going to go? And yeah, just let me know. It's happening. I'm out.